just you gon' have to do it less for you. Some mama, you know I always want you to. You gon' have to do more than just you gon' have to do it less for you. Some mama, you know.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Shanae, also known as Ooh Wee It's Me. Now, before we get into the video, I'm going to need you guys to give this video a big fat thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button. And yeah, let's get into the video. So by the title of this video, you do know that I'm going to be talking about a story time of when I was in a domestic violence relationship. It's pretty heavy on my heart and hard for me to talk about this. I don't ever really talk about stuff like this, and probably only 3 people in the world know about this story, so now everybody's gonna know. But if I can help at least one person, then I know I'm doing my job. So let's get into the video. So it all starts off pretty much I met my ex at a mutual friend's house. I approached him and gave him my number, and yeah, we hit it off from there, and everything was good in the beginning. He moved in with me and my family like a month after we started dating, and yeah, it was pretty good. He ended up like getting a job and going to college, and so yeah, he was doing pretty good. But when he started making money and doing well in his life is when he started kind of being an asshole to the ones that helped him, like my family and I, mainly me. Like, he would, like, start off, like, literally, it'd be, like, 3 months into this relationship, 2 months of him living with me and 3 months of a relationship total. He would start to mentally and verbally abuse me, just because he was doing so good with his life. He would start, like, saying little things to me that would piss me off. He would call me, the B word a lot. I'm not going to swear. But he would call me up, and then he would call me a pig. He would say I was ugly. He would, tear me down verbally, and it would hurt, as it would hurt anybody. Or if he was having a bad day at work, he'd come home and he'd, say you're worthless. Then he started to mentally abuse me and, and make me feel like I was beneath him, or make me feel like, I couldn't amount to anything. That's literally how he would make me feel. If I would say I'm going to get a promotion at work, he'd say, oh, that's all you're ever going to do in your life. He would, make me feel like I was nothing. And it would tear me down little by little. He would know what to do to hurt me. And he would know exactly what to do to make me stay with him. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just sorry, I'm just getting a little emotional. I don't want to cry for you guys. And I'm not going to, because I'm not going to give my past abuser that ability to hurt me anymore. So, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to tell you guys this story. And yeah. So, anyways, the first thing he ever did to me physically was, we were in his car. He had just bought a new car, and he was very, very anal about his things. If you touched it the wrong way or touched it without him asking, he would flip out. So I was sitting in his car Indian style, in a passenger seat, and because I was sitting like that, he said I was scratching the side of his car, the door. And I was like, no, I'm not. And he's like, don't talk to me like that. And I was like, I'm not sitting in your car weird. And he literally took his hand and backslapped me like that. Literally like this to me. And my nose started gushing blood. And he started getting mad because my nose started bleeding really bad. So he told me to get the F out his car. So I got out, I was not about to fight with him. So when I got out and he seen I was so willing, he took it as me not really caring, and saying whatever, I'll get out. So I ended up getting out, and he drove off, and then he drove back, and I'm thinking oh, he wants to pick me up. So I kind of walked towards his car. He takes a 24 pack of water we had in the back seat and chucks it at me. It hits my head and falls down. I start crying a lot, and then he kind of got satisfaction out of that, knowing that he hurt me. So he drove home, and then I went home, and I didn't talk with him. I ended up sleeping in another room. But that was the first time, and I just remember going home thinking wow, I can't believe he's abusing me. I knew he was mean verbally and mentally, but now it's starting to become physical. I didn't say anything still. I still stood with him. And then he ended up I had a dog, like a dog. We had a family dog, and she was like 10 years old, and she started like having accidents all around the house. So he stepped in it one day, or one night. It was during the night, yeah. He stepped in it one night, and I didn't hear him say anything, All I heard is my dog screaming. I rush out, and he comes into the room, and he goes, I just threw her over the balcony. And I'm like, what? I ran out there, and my dog was screaming, and my dog's shaking on the bottom of the stairs. I pick her up, and my uncle comes out the room. He goes, what's wrong? I'm like, I think she fell down the stairs. Well, I should have just told him this idiot just threw our dog over the balcony. And I didn't say anything. I felt so bad because I should have protected my dog, and I didn't. Just, yeah, it was just sad because, like, I can't believe, like, hurt me all you want, but, like, hurting a defenseless animal, it's just, like, you don't need to do that, Whatever. So then, I end up, I still end up staying with him, but I end up trying to call the Dr. Phil show, and, I called and left a voicemail, so I was hoping they would call me back, just to be on the show about domestic violence and all that, but whatever. Then he pretty much would hit me here and there anytime he was mad or anything like that. And I remember his birthday was coming up, and he wanted a Louis Vuitton backpack. And I was like, I'm not going to get you a Louis Vuitton backpack. And he would hit me. He would hit me for me to get him a gift. And he literally would say, if you don't get me this, I'm going to punch you every time. Like, acting like a little child. Except for child don't hit because they don't get something. So he punched me right in my face, like right here. And I had a bruise, and I remember going to work and covering it up. And I just remember living that life of covering bruises up, and I just hated it. Until one day I went to work, and he had got mad because I answered the phone when he was in the shower. And he was on the other end, and he's like, you know what I'm doing? And he was like, I'm ripping your clothes up. I can hear my clothes being ripped. He was ripping them all up. And I was like, stop destroying my stuff. He goes, no, I'm not done with it yet. All of a sudden, he shows up at my job, and I'm working in a jewelry department. He grabs me by the neck just like that and says, B, if you ever effing disrespect my child's mother, you won't live to do it again. He said that. My coworker was like looking at me like that, and I was like, want me to call the cops? And he left, and I just was so embarrassed. I was so hurt. I was so sad. And like, that was like the final straw. I couldn't handle it anymore. So I was like, I need to do something. I ended up calling all these TV shows. I called Dr. Phil, and they called me back to be a guest on a show for this domestic violence. And I was considering it, but like, I honestly didn't want to be around him anymore. So that's why I didn't want to do the show, because I knew that they would want me to bring him on the show. And I didn't. So then the next step for me was I end up telling my uncle. I ended up telling my mom, and my mom told my uncle. My uncle had a house meeting and asked us, and I denied it. I made my mom look like an idiot because I denied it, So then my mom kicks him out. She kicked him out the house. Just like that. And I was at work when this happened. So like, when she kicked him out, he left, but he was being very disrespectful to her and stuff like that. So when he had called me, he was like, I left, like, thinking I was going to help him. And I'm just thinking, like, I was playing along with it. I'm like, oh my God, for real? Like, I was acting like I was so mad at my mom, even though I had already knew. And ever since then, he moved in with his dad. We didn't talk. We lost all connection. And then I guess he moved to California, and we stopped talking. Never had to see him again in my life. Never had to talk to him again. And that's how our relationship ended, with my mom kicking him out. And if it wasn't for her kicking him out, I honestly think that he would have killed me. Because it was getting worse like that. It was bad. So years down the line, because I stood with him for a long time. Like, this abuse happened not only within those three months. Like, I stood with him for probably a year and a half, and it was abuse from the first 3 months we started dating up until the year and a half, the day he left. So it was a year and a half of abuse, hiding my bruises, being broken emotionally. And a couple years later, I turned 25, so this was probably what, 5 years later. 5 years later, yeah, I turned 25, and he finds me on Facebook, and he writes me this long message, and it was pretty much saying, like, I'm sorry that I did this to you, and you were always a sweet girl, and I don't know what I was going through, and I'm so sorry, and this and that, like, basically apologizing and saying why he did it and stuff like that. And I wrote him back, and I said, I appreciate the apology, but it really changed me as a person, and a lot of people say, like, don't have regrets, or it's a learned lesson. It shouldn't be a learned lesson. I didn't deserve anything for it to be a learned lesson. I did nothing wrong, but it changed me, and I hate that he took that away from me. Like, I used to be so, like, outgoing and have so much confidence and stuff like that, and then, like, after that relationship, like, I looked at men differently. I started to date, like, I would just start to do hookups. I wouldn't want to get in a committed relationship. And then, like, I started to gain a lot of weight, and I didn't care about how I looked inside or out, and I became, like, into drinking and all that. And it's just like, he took that piece of me that I will never get back because of being in a domestic relationship. You just, like, they take that away from you. And I'm starting to get it back because my boyfriend now is my hero. Like, he makes me feel how a man is supposed to make you feel. Like, he is a good protector. He's sweet. He's funny. He's family oriented. He's goal oriented. Like, he's a really good guy. Would never lay a finger on me. So he's kind of filling that void back. But it's just crazy, when I think back of being in a relationship like that. I would never think I was in one like that. And when I hear, like, stories of people dying and being in relationships like that, I'm just like, wow, it could have been me, So, I hope this story helps someone out there and just realize, like, even though you may be ashamed or feel, like, empowered, or you feel like you can't do nothing about it, you can. The first step is pretty much getting yourself out that situation, or calling for help. Call the police, call that hotline, talk to a family member, do any of that, because your life is worth it, and you don't need to have somebody treating you like it's not. You're beautiful inside and out, every last one of you. Don't ever let a man or a woman make you feel like you're not. You don't need to be in a relationship because of how it looks. You don't need to be in a relationship because you feel lonely or want to fill that void of being alone. If you feel like you're getting disrespected or hurt in any type of way, mentally, physically, verbally, do something about it. Protect yourself. Because at the end of the day, only you can stop it. And that's putting yourself out that position, out that environment. And if you can't do that, call someone. And if you can't do that, send signals to people. You don't ever stay in something like that, because it will literally take a part of you and you will never get it back. So thank you for listening to this story. I'm so proud I didn't cry, because I'm not going to give him that. I'm not going to give him that. I'm going to cry every time I talk about this, because I want to be strong. I'm going to speak about this and help others, because I've been through it. So give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and be on the lookout for more videos. Thank you. Bye.